What's going on, YouTube? All my peoples out there in the world. It's your boy Seti once again, talking about cryptocurrency. Um, I'm sitting here chilling at night, but I just wanted to share a couple things with y'all, a couple thoughts that I've been having. Really, I wanted to just read this article. This is an article on NPR, and they're talking about the US dollar turning into a cryptocurrency. Now, this is not me endorsing NPR, saying anything about, they're a good news source or whatever. I'm just focused solely on the contents of the article here today. This article was written on the 6th of February, so I'm a little bit late, a few days late, but I still wanted to get it out there to everybody so we could talk about it. David Gura wrote this article on NPR, and it's called "The U.S. is considering a radical rethinking of the dollar for today's digital world." So, right off the bat, you can see that it's coming. If the United States is going to change over their entire currency from physical dollars to digital currency, a lot of shit is about to change. All right, so here's the article says, since its establishment as the country's national currency, the dollar has undergone many updates and changes, but nothing compares to the proposal being debated today. The U.S. is gingerly considering whether to adopt a digital version of its currency, one better suited for today's increasingly cashless world, ushering in what could be one of the dollar's most fundamental transformations. In that scenario, the U.S. would not only mint the coins and print paper bills, but also issue digital cash, or a central bank digital currency. They call it a CBDC, which, whatever, it's just going to be a crypto dollar that will be stored in apps or digital wallets on our smartphones. Now, keep in mind, this a digital wallet or an app is not a bank. Not a bank at all. So you're cutting out a huge middleman here. Okay, a lot of people ain't gonna be happy about getting cut out of here. So when I said in the first video that there's gonna be a big fight about who's gonna be able to control the transactions, this is the first step, because the banks aren't gonna be getting these, money changing fees anymore. All right, so continuing on, it says we could then use them to pay for things just like we do with Venmo or Apple Pay, and no physical money would change hands. It's a vision of a cashless future that other countries are already embracing. China, for example, unveiled the digital yuan on a trial basis. India this week said it would create a digital rupee. That's three huge economies now: the United States, China, and India. Huge economies, okay? Talking about switching over to cryptocurrency. Now, yes, there's going to be problems with this, obviously, because crypto is all about security and, verifying and checking and making sure that the money that you're using is actually the real thing. And we all know that the currency for the United States and other countries is just fiat currency. It's backed by the government and basically nothing else. So it's a little bit different. I mean, it will be a little bit different if they're just gonna literally mint the money and not have it mined, as crypto usually is. Eh, yeah, that's gonna be a big difference. But if it can still be used as digital currency, well, this is gonna change things. All right. So, continuing on, the article says the U.S. is weighing whether it wants to get into the game. They do. They're going to. They're gonna do it. No doubts. It's happening. So last month, the Federal Reserve released a much anticipated paper laying out the advantages and disadvantages of a digital currency. The Fed says It's a first step meant to kickstart an important conversation among policymakers and to gather feedback from average people to some of the country's largest financial institutions. Here's what we know about the digital dollar. How it would actually work. Well, they say these policymakers stress that these are early days yet, and there's a lot that needs to be hammered out. All in all, the transactions conducted with digital dollars probably wouldn't seem too different from existing private alternatives that allow us to pay for things by bringing our smartphones next to digital readers. China, for example, allows digital yuan payments in the cities in which the country is piloting its digital currency, allowing citizens to make payments via an app set up by the government. Look, we've all seen this before. We know what this is. This is Cash App, fool. This is Venmo. This is Apple Pay. This is, Touch to Pay. It's a simple thing. People are already using it. We're already paying with digital transactions of physical money. Now we're just cutting out the physical money part of it and just going by digital transactions. All right, so the next section goes on to say, why pursue a digital currency? Well, reducing or eliminating fees is one clear benefit. When you make a contactless payment today, it may seem immediate, but according to some guy who is the former chairman of the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, a lot happens behind the scenes. My mobile device tells his mobile device to inform a whole series of banks to confirm who I am, how much money's in my bank, that there's enough money to move from my bank to his bank, and at each step of the way, there are transaction fees. And in 2020, they added up to more than $110 billion, which was generally shouldered by businesses, which I don't believe. They're always making the little guy pay for shit. It gets passed on down the chain until it hits the very bottom. Those are the reason that prices are fucking going up for shit, because this $110 billion that's being extracted from our transactions. We could save that money if we just switched over to digital currency. So yeah, going on, it says with the digital dollar, you can in theory eliminate those middlemen. If you wanted to buy a sandwich, for instance, you could transfer money from a digital wallet directly to a cashier, which would basically be the digital wallet of that company that you're making that transaction with. Very easy. So he goes on to say it wouldn't necessarily entirely eliminate non-government players. In China, for example, users who want to use the digital yuan can go to banks to add money to their digital wallets. I guess. I mean, if that's what you want to do, but why would you when you got your bank account in your freaking pocket? Like, you got your bank account in your pocket at all times. Well, why would I go to a bank? Like, for what? For what? Oh, man. That's great. So, it goes on to say, but just having digital dollars in circulation could put pressure on credit card companies and payment processors to lower fees to be competitive. That is, if enough people start using the Fed-run version. It's $1. You got to pay your taxes in it. You have to pay your wages in it. People are going to use it. It ain't going to just sit by the wayside. I mean, and so many people are already using plastic to make digital transactions. It's just that currency, it's just a representation of physical currency. So why not just brush the representation out the way and use crypto? So, yeah, the article goes on to say another argument for creating a digital dollar is to open up digital transactions to Americans who don't have bank accounts. According to the Fed, more than 5% of U.S. households are unbanked. Whatever, they're just trying to suck more people into the system. I mean, that's fine, I guess, whatever. And the last point they make here is they say it would also make it easier for the federal government to distribute benefits. For example, having a digital dollar in place during the pandemic could have allowed the government to transfer relief payments directly into digital wallets, which, okay, that's fine. But if you got an EBT card, it's really not that different at all. Like, what we're talking about is not a huge conceptual leap. Like, people are already doing this. We're already transactioning digitally with benefits. Like I said, if you got an EBT card, you already know what this is. Like, This is not hard to do. It's just about cutting out that middleman. So, yeah, the article goes on to list some challenges which are mostly centered around cybersecurity. I mean, that's a legitimate criticism, and I'm sure it's a concern for many people. But if you understand blockchain technology, then you know how to make it secure, which is why they're even thinking about doing this in the first place, because they know they can secure it. So, yes, security is a concern, but I don't think it's that huge of a concern. But anyway, there's more to the article. I ain't going to read it. This video is already 10 minutes long. I'm going to leave a link to it in case anybody wants to read it. But, yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. Keep it in mind. The crypto future that I've been talking about and discussing in these videos is a lot closer than you think. I watched a video today that was the Senate Agriculture Committee talking about how Joe Biden was going to sign an executive order to do this. And that was today. I don't know when that executive order is going to come out, but they discussed that it was a strong possibility that, yeah, Joe Biden might make this happen. That's a big deal. If it happens within the next 2 years, yeah, that's a huge deal. That's going to change a lot. So just be on the lookout for it and keep it on your mind and watch how this unfolds, because this is going to be a life-changing thing. All right, guys. Y'all take it easy. I appreciate you watching. Leave a like. Leave a comment. Let's discuss. And I'll see y'all in the next one.